here. Hang on 1 second. I was playing the wrong one here. Let me fix this. Forgot to switch over to the correct one. There we go. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Had to fix that. Of course, I have to change it back after this review is over, but, my mistake. Forgot to change the scenes. What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here for the third time tonight, and only one more time you'll see me after this, within the hour or so, maybe sooner, I don't know, because I'm currently exporting my my next Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince part of that PC gameplay, as I'm flying through that pretty good, like the pace I'm at with that right now. But we are live for my live review of tonight's edition of AEW Dynamite, the April 28th, 2021 edition of Dynamite. It took place at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. It is the go-home show to next week's special AEW Blood and Guts that takes place next week, May 5th, 2021. And the main event will be a Blood and Guts match that myself and my good friend Joseph Miller will be going live to do live reactions during the Blood and Guts match between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. That is going to be an awesome match. I cannot wait for that. And I thought we had a very good go-home show for Blood and Guts. Of course, after Blood and Guts, we definitely going to have to start focusing on getting some matches announced for Double or Nothing, as that is coming up in a month. That is on May 30th, 2021. It'll be here, of course, before you know it. And I'll be going through the third cycle of pay-per-views for AEW. Let's roll into it and talk about the show again. We had a very, very good show. Very fun. Very exciting. I enjoyed the show top to bottom. I mean, I was even flipping back and forth between this and the Pirate game tonight. And, I still felt that I got a good enjoyment out of this show. And we have a lot of good things to look forward to next week and in the weeks to come, I feel, for AEW Dynamite. There was one gripe, though, I have about this show. If I'm not mistaken, did they not mention Kenny Omega's big title win this past Sunday? How Kenny Omega pretty much has not one, not two, but 3 or 4 belts tonight. He now has 4 championships. The AEW World Championship, the AAA World Championship, the TNA World Championship, and the Impact World Championship. And they kind of just didn't mention any of that whatsoever. Which leads me to wonder, then what's the point of having him, be hyped up on both shows if they're not gonna, keep the continuity? I thought that was a little bit strange that was not acknowledged on this show. Felt a little off with that with AEW's part, because I praised AEW several times, including in the live reactions I did with Joe on Sunday, how AEW seems to celebrate all of wrestling and not just AEW. So I was a little bit confused by that. Other than that, though, that's really the only gripe I have about this show. I believe so, yes. But because this was still an excellent show. I loved it. It was fun. I loved it. I hope you guys did. If you did, though, it's okay. But let's talk about this. Let's roll in and review. We opened up with a very good match between Hangman Adam Page and the Machine Brian Cage. As Hangman was entering, though, he was jumped by Team Taz, but then the Dark Order came out to help him out, but then Brian Cage powerbombed Page onto the stage. Brian Cage, Adam Page, tongue twister there because it rhymes, on the stage. The match happened. Again, I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't as long, though, as, I probably would expect it, or it just felt that way, but it was, because I did start the show about 5 minutes late, because I finished up my NXT review tonight. But, yeah, so it was Brian Cage, with that opening, advantage, got the upper hand and powerbombed him through. A powerbomb Page seemed to have affected him, because Brian Cage does go on the win. which is a nice addition for Brian Cage to get a victory. He hasn't really gotten too many big victories in a while, especially with stuff with him and with Team Taz and Darby Allin. This is kind of a nice way to kind of get Cage's momentum going. Even though it was weird because recently he was kind of being like a babyface and teasing a face turn with him respecting Sting, and now he's kind of eased back on that again. But we'll see where this goes. But I like this victory. A good way to start off the show, and a good way to give Cage the win there with the drill claw. After that, we have a limo segment with the Elite. Actually, I'm sorry, Don Callis did briefly mention Kenny Omega's big weekend, but that was kind of basically it. Like, nothing else really happened with that. The Young Bucks also had a match being hyped up against the Seidel brothers. Kenny was angry at the intimidation from Eddie Kingston and John Moxley last week when they tried to run their truck into the Elite's vehicles. He's not scared though, but all 6 guys jump when they hear a horn. Michael Nakazawa rolls down the window and apologizes for hitting the wrong button, but Kenny says Eddie's going to have to deal with Nakazawa tonight. So we'll see that later. We had a pretty good match between the Seidel brothers and the Young Bucks, which was kind of more of like a title eliminator match. Let me see here. It was a pretty good back and forth match. SCU's Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels come out, even though, again, Scorpio Sky is still technically a part of them, or is he? I don't know, but he's a heel now. But they came out, and during the match, they were running down the Bucks' new attitude, and they questioned their wardrobe choices, and they remind us about their storyline. Where they basically, will quit being a tag team next time they lose, which they haven't lost since. But they're ready to use their number 1 ranking for a title shot. But they'll make the AEW without the asshole Bucks. But the match still continues as Matt Jackson flips Seidel up and looks for a pile driver. But then there were some good counters in there, like scissors. Eventually, the Young Bucks win after low blowing Johnny Cage. After they low blowed him, the Bucks hit the BTE trigger, and they win the match. But yeah, they're teasing. It looks like I'm still not sure for Double or Nothing, because it looks like they might go with the Young Bucks versus John Moxley and Eddie Kingston, but there's still SCU teasing something there also. I can't remember. It might be sometime soon. We're gonna see a match with SCU and the Young Bucks. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see, though. But a good match. Jade Cargill cuts another promo, basically saying she doesn't need anyone, she can do this all herself. We had a very nice character match between Orange Cassidy and Penta El Zero Miedo. Penta was not letting, basically they were just trying to prevent each other from just playing their own characters. Penta was not letting Cassidy put his hands in his pocket. Orange finally starts getting in with the leg kicks, but gets all serious and everything. There's a brainbuster in there. Orange got pissed and punches the follow-up. They traded kicks in there. Alex Abrahantes tries to create a distraction with insulting Trent's mother, but Cassidy throws him into the ring, and then while they get Alex out of the ring, Cassidy slips out of a package pile driver, gets the mic from Trent that Alex Abrahantes was using, and hits an orange punch on Penta El Zero Miedo to get the victory. So a nice sneaky victory there for Orange Cassidy, and again, it was more so like a character match, which worked very well. Good match, definitely. Dr. Britt Baker was also raving backstage about how she's ranked number 1, and it's about time that she shows why she's chosen to be the face of the women's division, and it's now for her time to be the champion. So Sheeta later, as she teased Hikaru Shida. As again, we're probably going to see that match at Double or Nothing, which will probably be where Britt wins the championship, as she should be champion by now. Now it's time. It's partly time. The final standoff between the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, Blood and Guts match next week in the main event of Blood and Guts. Each team comes out with their security. Inner Circles is on tricked out Harleys. So Tony Schiavone runs down the details and the proceedings, including that there will be a coin toss for the Blood and Guts advantage. Shawn Spears slaps a coin out of his hand and says the Pinnacle gets the advantage because they were tricked into the match. He asks Sammy Guevara how long it's been since he wrestled, and Jericho is leading him into deep waters, but he'll be there to step on his head and drown him. Sammy responds and gives the Pinnacle the advantage and says he'll start the match so he can fight everyone. He'll do it, he said. He'll fight everyone. FTR was next, and they begged Santana and Ortiz not to bring the soft versions of themselves that have been hanging with Jericho, because if they do, they won't make it out. Which Santana and Ortiz almost snap and attack when Dax Harwood mentions their kids, but they were able to restrain. Then is MJF. He puts over how important Chris Jericho was to start of AEW. He says thank you, of course, and says how Jericho's been demanding that thank you since the beginning. And he says, he was the bridge for everybody to cross into for AEW. He put together one of the greatest groups in wrestling, the Inner Circle. But he can't imagine how much pressure Jericho's under. We see it every week when Jericho comes out with bloodshot eyes. Next week, though, he'll do a humane thing and put Jericho down, take his spot, and makes his family is the greatest group of wrestling. Basically referring to the Pinnacle being the greatest group of wrestling. Jericho calls him a self-righteous little prick. Expected worse from Jericho to say, but, I guess that's what I was going to say. He won't just inherit Jericho's spot the way he did his trust fund. Last week, MJF said he was curtain jerking in WCW 25, which he was, and he's proud of that, but he failed to mention that he was also headlining arenas around the world, and that's how he learned respect and got the experience that took him to the top of the game. He questions how long the Pinnacle family's been together, but he puts over how the Inner Circle has been together since day one of AEW. He puts out everyone on his squad and says the Pinnacle will have to kill them to win. 1969 was the summer of love, but 2021 will be the summer of pain and violence for the Pinnacle. And next Sunday, summer starts early. Good fired up promo there by Jericho. He didn't call them the pineapple, though, which, was a little disappointing, but, it's still fine. But very fiery promo, very lit. Thought it was pretty cool. And again, like I said, that match next Wednesday is going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait to do live reactions with Joe for that match. Michael Nakazawa was in the ring when Eddie Kingston came out, but he's not here for this sports entertainment crap. He wants to fight Kenny Omega, who Omega comes out and talks to Eddie until Nakazawa goes to attack him with his laptop. But Kingston fights back and gets ready to break Nakazawa's ankle. But Kenny tells him, you can do it, and then calls for another goon, Brandon Cutler, basically saying he does not care, as long as it's not him. But Cutler is already beaten up because Jon Moxley, took him out in the back, and then Moxley helps Kingston take down Omega, and then when they get Kenny down, they put a chair around his ankle and threaten to break him. And then Don Callis comes out begging not to do it. But then I thought first it was going to lead to Eddie Kingston challenging Kenny Omega to the world title. But instead, it led to them asking for a tag match with Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa. Basically, in some ways, trying to set up Kenny Omega for a 2-on-1 beatdown, basically. Which Callis was not going to give it to him until they basically got more serious and about to do it. He says, if you break the ankle, no match. So finally, after Callis, they pushed Callis to the boiling point, he accepted, and next week we're going to have a tag match with Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa taking on Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Basically, like I said, going to be like a 2-on-1 match for both of them to get their hands on Kenny Omega, as it seems. So, we'll see where that goes. Taz is interviewed by Tony Schiavone bragging about Brian Cage's win and talks about his team's issues with Christian Cage, which brings out AEW's other Cage, who says that Taz is living vicariously through Team Taz, and since he wishes he could come back like Christian Cage did, now he wants to live vicariously through him. Taz can send everyone at him and he'll take them all out one by one. I guess we're not going to be doing Kenny. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure who we're doing that at Double or Nothing. I guess we're not. I was thinking maybe Kenny and Christian, but maybe we're doing Kenny and Eddie now. I'm not too sure, but still am thinking there's still a good chance for Kenny and Christian, but we may be getting Christian going after someone from Team Taz. Maybe Christian and Brian Cage. We'll have to wait and see. Chris Statlander defeated Penelope Ford in a pretty good match. One of her first singles matches being back. She was in The Big Bang Theory. And then apparently Kip is not going to be addressing Miro because we go right to a video on what Brody Lee meant to number 10, the Dark Order, who will be fighting in the main event for the TNT Championship. Then we have QT Marshall's The Factory taking on the Nightmare Family. This was okay. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if this was too many stables, but I don't really care too much right now for this. I still don't see QT Marshall more than like a tag team special or something. I don't see him as like a serious main event player. But they defeated the Nightmare Family. They went immediately, Chaos with a big aftermath of the beatdown afterwards. Until Cody Rhodes came out of a bus that a QT Marshall tried escaping through and takes out QT Marshall. And I'm guessing next week we're getting a match between Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall again. We'll see what it does. Like I said, not really setting my expectations too high for this stuff with QT Marshall. Because like I said, he's alright. But, I just still don't see him anything more than like a mid-carder or something like that. Not being a main eventer. As of now, who knows? But that's just how I feel. We also have Kip Sabian catch up with Miro, and Miro just kicks Sabian's butt, saying, "Where were you? You forgot about me." This and that. But after beating him up and slamming his arms to the door, Miro then says he forgives him. For what reason? I don't know, but we'll see. And he was saying something about how no one's holding him back for becoming a champion. So I hope that means, again, that Miro's going after some singles championships and getting some gold, as he should be in AEW. But we'll see about that. We also get a rundown of next week. And we also announce a big match on May 12th as Jon Moxley will defend the IWGP US title against Yuji Nagata, where the heck the guy's name is from Japan. Which I'm sure I don't really watch much Japanese wrestling, but I'm pretty sure your New Japan fans are pretty excited for that match. So see how that goes down. And then we had a pretty good main event with Darby Allin and number 10 of the Dark Order. Again, Darby Allin is making sure to give people in Dark Order opportunities, as the TNT Championship, has a good history with, the late Mr. Brody Lee. And I thought it was a pretty good match. And the ending looked like that they got Darby Allin to pass out, but Darby Allin was in position to pin down 10's shoulders, and for a second I thought at first 10 won the TNT title, but in the end ended up being Darby retaining. It was a good match. Afterwards, it was a show of respect, as he took the Brody Lee armband off of 10 and held it up in the air in respect for Brody. But then we have Ethan Page coming out to attack, and then Scorpio Sky joined, just like last week, and they took out the TNT champion and Sting. Scorpio Sky had Sting in the heel hook, but then out came Lance Archer and number 10 to make the save. Even though it scares off Page and Sting, but it was too late, and Page and Sky, but it was too late at the time to save them, as both Sting and Darby were both in pain. I don't know why they did the same thing as last week, but and also why is, again, Lance Archer acting like a babyface? I don't know. Who knows? Weird spot there, but Still an excellent show. Again, there's awesome stuff all around. Especially that promo with the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. I gave the show an A-. That's what I get for AEW this week. And that's going to do it. Again, I have my next Harry Potter Let's Play due to be uploading here shortly as well. So I will take care of that. And guys, once again, thank you all for joining me live. What were your thoughts on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below and slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content to my channel and follow me on Twitter at DemandAirborne93. I'll see you guys on Friday for live reactions of the main event of SmackDown and most likely a SmackDown review as well. So until then guys, I'm checking out. Have a great rest of your night and I'll see you all later. Peace out everybody.
No